June 1929, a small group of Christians met for a revival at the corner of Forest Park and Park Hill. At the end of that revival, 20 charter members, most from Gambrill Street Baptist Church, banded together to form the UBC Baptist Church. The congregation first met in a rented dwelling at 2540 Rogers Avenue. The first pastor, Dr. Perry Evans, led in establishing the church, securing the current location, and constructing the first building. When the Great Depression came, the church struggled to survive. The church constructed a small Spanish mission stucco building and began to use it for worship on March 22, 1931. The congregation was characterized by lay leadership in giving and serving. 2 members even mortgaged their homes to support the church. For the next 10 years, the church had a steady parade of pastors, with the average tenure being less than 2 years. The Women's Missionary Union, WMU, began missions education and evangelism in the church's earliest days. Known as Mrs. WMU, Cornelia Curtis left UBC a great legacy, a love for missions. During this time, the women of the WMU made a quilt with blocks representing children of the charter members. This quilt hangs outside the preschool suite today. UBC continued to grow. In December 1939, the church called Dr. W. Ray Watson as pastor. This respected leader served for more than 14 years until his death in March 1954. Under Watson's leadership, enrollment grew to 784. Sunday school classes were overflowing. During his pastorate, Watson encouraged music training and music in worship. Initially, lay members, students, and interim staff led the music ministry. By 1946, the music program moved forward under the leadership of Dr. J. Campbell Ray, Dean of the School of Church Music at Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. Throughout the 1940s, the original stucco hall no longer could properly accommodate the growing congregation. In 1942, the church began making plans for a permanent building. And in 1951, the W. Ray Watson Chapel was completed and dedicated. The Gothic design of Watson Chapel set the architectural style for future buildings. The new chapel signaled that UBC Baptist Church was a permanent, growing, and influential church. The practice of holding 2 morning services began in 1954, requiring 2 groups of worship music leadership. In 1954, the church called Dr. James G. Harris as pastor. Harris assembled a well-trained, experienced, and dedicated staff. During the 1950s, all the young people's and children's groups grew. The Royal Ambassadors, also known as RAs, came under the Brotherhood leadership. Girls Auxiliary, also known as GAs, memorized scripture, learned about missionary work, and served in the community. And children of all ages enjoyed the 2-week-long vacation Bible school. Throughout the years, UBC Baptist Church has gathered for fellowship and food, such as this meal served in Stucco Hall. During the 1950s, children met in converted garages and other temporary buildings for Sunday school. But in 1957, Sunday school classes moved into the new education building, and each spring Dr. Harris shared the gospel on several Sundays with the junior Sunday school students ages 9 through 11. As a result, hundreds of young people made commitments to Christ. The new building included an expanded fellowship hall, our current music rehearsal room. With the growth of the youth group in the 1950s, the church created a staff position for youth work. H.D. McCarty set the standard for this new ministry. As UBC prepared to enter the 1960s, Dr. Harris encouraged the church with these words, "My own heart quickens in breathless anticipation as we join hands and hearts and purses." He called for dynamic faith, fervent prayer, willful determination, and unparalleled sacrifice on the part of all.